You know what's funny about when Spike sang his song to Rarity? A lot of fans that have reacted to it and reviewed it have pretty much said that it feels very identical and familiar to a song they heard get sung a season ago. And that song was You're in My Head Like a Catchy Song, which was sung by Pear / Buttercup to Bright Mac in the flashback portion of The Perfect Pair. Which, of course, The Perfect Pair aired in Season 7, and even before it officially aired here in the U.S., and it aired earlier internationally, both times it was heaped so much praise, not just for its storytelling, but for the song that accompanied it. And you feel similar vibes here with The Best Gift Ever. A lot of fans are giving it heaps of praise, more positive than negatives. And the thing that really a lot of fans associate with that praise is Spike's song to Rarity. I mean, yes, it did transition into a song sung by Twilight and the rest of the main six later on, but the initial starting of it, the Spike portion to Rarity, a lot of fans have come out and said that they felt, if not sensed, and saw an identicalness and a familiarity to ButterCup's song to Bright Mac. And honestly, when you get a compliment like that for just a small portion of a song, for just a small section of an overall 3.5 minute song, that's saying something. That is saying something, especially when you think about when Buttercup sang her song to Bright Mac, which was her gift to them for their anniversary. It really hit home. It really hit home emotionally for a lot of viewers, for a lot of fans. It got a lot of fans, as did Spike's song to Rarity. It got a lot of fans misty-eyed. It got them tearing up. Because both songs, when you compare them together, came from the heart. It basically both songs were how both characters felt about the one they cared about. And that's pretty much true with Buttercup and her song to Bright Mac, and that's pretty much true with Spike's song to Rarity. And when your end result is you getting an emotional response from a lot of fans, even to the point that Aramount, Ari the Fiery Secretary, and Lightning Bliss are pretty much saying that they were tearing up, they were crying when they heard that song, when they heard Spike's song to Rarity. And even Josh Scorcher, aka Firebrand, who initially never really liked the idea of Spike being with Rarity and vice versa, said he got a little misty-eyed, along with probably many others out there. Then you've accomplished your goal by basically sending a message that these two really care about each other. Spike really cares about Rarity. And in a sense now, you could say Rarity pretty much feels the same way, if not always has. And this song here, when compared to, like I say, Buttercup's song to Bright Mac, pretty much is confirmation that they're both now more than just friends. They look at each other as now more than just friends now. And as I said before, it pretty much canonizes or semi-canonizes and semi-officializes the Spike-Rarity relationship in the show. I mean, remember when I said that Sugar Bell, Big Mac, and in Season 8, Mud Briar and Mart Pie were just tests? You know, they would just test to see if maybe romance could be taken to that next level with the main cast. Well, here's your possible first step in doing that by going in this direction. I mean, think about it. Think about probably the big difference between both songs when they were performed in the series. Buttercup sang her song to Bright Mac during a picnic, celebrating their anniversary. Just the two of them all alone. Just the two of them all alone. They didn't even realize that Mrs. Cake, when she was known as Siobhan Swirl, was watching in the bushes. They didn't realize that. Or maybe it was before. I don't know. No, actually it was afterwards. It was afterwards. But point is, when Buttercup sang the song to Bright Mac, she sang it to him with them by themselves, no one around. Spike here sang his song to Rarity in front of the main six, in front of the rest of the main six, in front of Discord, in front of Cadence, Princess Cadence, who, by the way, is the Princess of Love, but had nothing to do with this, and Shining Armor and their child, Flurry Heart, basically in front of his friends and family, singing a song that a lot of people pretty much felt is identical and similar to the song You're in My Head Like a Catchy Tune, or You're in My Head Like a Catchy Song, that Buttercup sang to Bright Mac. And you basically get that same emotional response. Again, it shows that you've accomplished something. It shows that you're pretty much saying to the world, just like with Bright Mac and Buttercup, you're doing the same here with Spike and Rarity. You're pretty much saying that they are more than friends, that Spike views Rarity as more than a friend. I mean, yeah, you may not agree with how he got Rarity, but in the long run, you know, let's say he would have gotten Rarity in the first place anyway. You still would have gotten the same results. The point is, when you look at how fans felt about Spike's song to Rarity, and how a lot of them compared it to Buttercup's song to Bright Mac, I don't think there's no denying that the creative staff are looking at the Spike-Rarity relationship and saying, you know what, we're probably going to be going into our last season. We've acknowledged this, we've teased this, we've mentioned it, we've had a few moments with it throughout the years. Maybe it's time we just make it official and move on. Because that is what a lot of fans want. They want them to move on from this whole Sparity deal. Like I said, they want them to move on from this whole Sparity deal. But yeah, some fans want them to move on to where Spike moves on from Rarity, moves on from his crush, grows out of it. But I think, honestly, when you take a look at how they ended the special, that's not going to happen. Honestly, I think Season 9, and heck, some fans look at this as Season 9, Episode 0. Season 9 is going to have the whole Spike Rarity be a, I wouldn't say main focal point, but be one of those focal points that comes out once in a while. Like, you could have an episode down the line where Rarity basically says, look, you know, she tells she tells an up-nosed stallion or whatever that, hey, she has a knight in shining armor. She has the love of her life. And she points to Spike and say, you see him? That's him. You could have something like that happen in Season 9. Like I said, well, she will tell some kind of higher up or up-nosed pony or creature, hey, I have someone in my life. I have someone that cares about me very much. And that is Spike. And heck, even if that up-nosed, snooty creature or pony even questions why, she can basically say, hey, look, he's done more for me than you could ever expect to do in your lifetime. And that counts more than anything you could even offer. So yeah, when you look at how fans make that comparison, and then fans look at this as being like episode 0 of season 9, it's pretty much, I think, honestly, Hasbro, and if not the creative staff, saying, look, you know, this ship, this romance is now semi-canon. It is now semi-official. You know, it may not and it's not going to be the main focus, or it's not going to be in your face during season 9, which is pretty much setting the status quo that now these two look at each other as more than just friends. Because as I've said before, and I think a lot of people would agree, what Spike gave her in song wasn't just a song you compared to compared in similarity and identicalness to ButterCup's song to Bright Mac. But his song, when you do make that comparison, is exactly what ButterCup's was to Bright Mac. A love song. It was his love song expressing how he really feels about her. And on top of that, it was a Christmas love song. So, in the end, when you take a look at Spike's song and how it was presented at the end of the special, and pretty much how a lot of fans have compared it identically and very similarly to ButterCup's song in The Perfect Pear, and how basically a lot of fans felt that song complemented The Perfect Pear perfectly because it was a great episode overall, and how they feel very similar to Spike's song being a Spike's song to Rarity being very complimentary to the best gift ever. I don't think you can just sit there and try to argue, with all due respect, that Hasbro and the creative staff need to, move on from this whole Sparity deal. If they move on, it's not going to be, honestly, the way some fans are hoping. They move on, it's basically going to be moving on due to the fact that now they're semi-official and semi-canonized as a couple, as an item. And I think that's what you have to accept. Because honestly, there are some things that happen in entertainment, whether it's animated series, movies, live-action series or movies or whatever. There are some things that happen that we may not like, but we have to accept it. And in time, kind of grow to like it. And that's pretty much a fact. So yeah, I know this audio video is going a little long, but in closing, I'll just say this. When you hear Spike's song, ask yourself this. Does it not carry that same emotional vibe that ButterCup's song to Bright Mac in The Perfect Pear, her song being You're in My Head Like a Catchy Song? Tell me when you listen to Spike's portion of the song to Rarity if you don't feel similar emotional vibes. Because in the end, just like with ButterCup's song to Bright Mac, a lot of people felt very much the same emotionally. A lot of fans felt teary-eyed, misty-eyed. Like I said, even Josh Scorcher said he felt that way. So let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I'd love to hear what you all have to say on it. But again, listen to Spike's song, then listen to ButterCup's song, and tell me you don't sense some familiarity. You don't feel some identicalness between the two. And don't tell me you don't feel the emotion and love, the heartfelt emotion and love coming out of both the significant others, if you will. So let me know what you guys think. I got to get back into work, and I'll talk to y'all later.